Hello!
So here is another Star Wars Black Series 6-inch review. This one is of Princess Leia in the slave outfit. Before I go into this review, I do have to say that I'm really disappointed in their choice of Leias for this product line. I think that any Leia would have been a better choice than Slave Leia. Not to offend anyone, but I honestly think that Slave Leia would have been the last on my list. You go to any Comic-Con and there's always a bunch of Slave Leias. If there's an image of Leia on anything from dartboards to blankets, it's usually Slave Leia. I just think that that Slave Leia is overdone, and I hope that it'll be a while before we see another incarnation of Slave Leia. I would love to have seen Leia in the Bounty Hunter outfit. I would have loved to see her in her Bespin outfit. I think that seeing her in the Hoth outfit also would have been great, or the Jungle camo. I just feel like this is very disappointing that this is the first Leia that they do in the 6-inch line. I have seen that, I believe it's the 3 3/4-inch line is going to do Leia at the end of A New Hope when she gives out the medals, and that one looked pretty nice. But honestly, I'm very disappointed that this is the particular figure that they went with. So you see the classic Black Series, black box, orange text, orange Death Star lighting, nicely drawn image of Leia. On the back, we have image of Leia on Jabba's sail barge. The text says, dressed as one of Jabba the Hutt's slaves, Princess Leia escapes from the Hutt sail barge at the pit of Carkoon. And the quote is, "Come on, we gotta get out of here." So, pretty simple. Black edge. So, from this box we can see that Leia is wearing a soft goods skirt, is what I'd call that. And then she is packaged with 2 accessories and a neck chain. So let's go ahead and take her out of the box and see what she looks like. So here she is out of the box, our 6-inch black Slave Leia. Again, I'm just incredibly disappointed that for a female heroine that we had to go with the one where she's in slave outfit. On top of that, a skimpy slave outfit. But moving on from that, we do see that she has the soft goods skirt. It's overall a very nice sculpt. We have some nice detail on the wrist here with the bracelet. The boots are actually really well designed and detailed. Little elf boots, I guess. We also have the neck chain, the long braid. I do think that the headpiece, that the braid comes out of the metal headpiece, I think that that's very well done. Overall, the head sculpt is fairly well done. I think the facial sculpt is close. It's not fantastic, but it is pretty close. So we've seen other figures that have much better face sculpts, but I do think that this is a fairly good one. The detailing on the well-known metal bikini is fine. I don't think the contrast is as good as what we see on screen, but overall, I do think that it is a fairly good replica of what we see on screen. And we have this long braid, which honestly is, I don't know, I find it very difficult to pose the character how I want to because this long braid is in the way. It affects where you can put her and have it look natural. I think they did the best they could as far as constantly having it kind of rest on her shoulder, which may control how it falls. But just overall, it just kind of I don't know. I find it just detracting from the overall figure. For those of you that really want to know, under her skirt is another color matched underpants. So those of you that wanted to know, there you go. Just overall, I think that the sculpt is fine. If you look at the back here, you can see these very fine lines that make up the back strap. And I think that, I mean, these are very thin lines. I think they did a great job of getting those on there, making them look nice and clean. As far as articulation goes, you've got double jointed knees here, which this is as far as I can remember, the first in the Star Wars Black 6-inch where we've seen flesh colored double jointed knees. And I have to say, it looks a little bizarre. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done it. I just think that it makes her look a little skeletal or a little muscular, like it's a anatomy diagram a little bit. So, you know, there's a little bit there. Very small wrists, a little bit of wrist articulation. Really, it's just it does have swivel as well as swiveling this way. It does, overall as a figure, it does have a lot of articulation. Typical to what we see with the Star Wars Black figures in this 6-inch line. And if you pop off her head, you can take off her little dog collar, her little choke collar here. Put her head back on. Which makes her look a little bit better. I do think that she looks a little, I guess, I don't know any better word for it than hunchy. She looks like her shoulders are up a little bit, like she's kind of shrugging her shoulders. But overall, for a figure that I'm not a fan of them choosing to make, I do think that they did an okay job. I have to say that when this came out, I was not going to buy it. And then after a couple more waves, and we're at wave 4 now, it was the only one that I was missing. So I purchased it for that reason, to be a completist. So I do like having it in my collection, but I just wish that Leia was better represented. So when we look at her accessories, she comes with a little staff or pike, similar to what we saw Lando come with when he was in the skiff guard disguise, so from the original toy line. And then something that is fairly reminiscent of the extremely long blaster that Leia and Bounty Hunter disguise came with in the original toy line from '83. I think that the deco on this is nice. It's a silver deco with like a rust overspray, so it does give it some detail. And she does hold both of these fairly well in her hand, if not a little bit loosely. But overall, from a holding them, it looks fine. So overall, what do I think of this particular Star Wars Black 6-inch figure? I'm unhappy that this is the one that they chose, but I think that they executed on it very well. If you look at her from a size standpoint, she stands below Luke, who is one of the shorter of the 6-inch figures. So you're seeing that she is height proportionate, as far as I know, from Carrie Fisher to Mark Hamill. So it seems to be screen accurate. I think it's a very good figure for a version of Leia that I think should have been further down the list. I look forward to getting some additional Leias in my collection in the future. But if I were to say, should you pick this one up or should you not? I would say honestly, I don't know how much this adds to the overall 6-inch collection. I think that it's a fine figure, and if you're a Leia fan, please feel free to pick it up. But overall, I don't think it's a necessary add if you're only picking and choosing some of the 6-inch line.